knows how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with? That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're Oreo cookie. White in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro. I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show. I did a sermon on the fact that liberal women are creating a shameless society. I realized that one of the reasons that America is becoming so demoralized is that there are a lot of liberal women who are in positions of power. And that all came about because we gave women the right to vote. And there are more of them than there are us. And then a lot of men are intimidated by women. They're afraid to stand up to them and correct them. And so these women are out of control. Everything that's wrong in America is coming to the forefront because these women are making the decisions and they're voting on things that are bad, that are wrong for America and not good. And we find them not only in politics, but in different companies and businesses around the country. I have with me a young lady who sent me an email, and she has some good questions on that email. It's a long email, and she has some good questions on it. So I invited her to come on the show for a little bit and talk to me about it, ask me the questions that she needs answers to. Her name is Frances Edwards. She is a politics student studying at London Metropolitan University in England. Frances, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
All is well.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Who are you? What are you doing? How did you hear about me?
Well, basically, I'm a politics student in the UK. I'm studying for my degree. I'm on my second year. And, I saw your clip of the sermon, and then I saw your subsequent appearance on The View, where you kind of got shouted at a lot. I just felt that there were some questions that needed to be asked, but calmly and without just resorting to angry shouting.
Well, I'm a calm kind of fella. I don't shout. I never get angry, but I don't shout at all. But let me ask, those women on The View, all of them are liberals except for one. They were pretty mean to me, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Pretty mean's probably an understatement.
Yeah, and you noticed that they were too cowardly to have me on so I could defend myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to give you the chance to do here. Is because, I have to admit, your views are quite opposite to mine in quite a lot of ways. You might not be aware, but London is very liberal compared to lots of America. But I think the only way you can get anywhere is by actually talking it out and trying to hear the other person's point of view.
Yes, that's right. And are you a liberal?
Yeah, I would classify myself as a liberal.
Oh, okay. So what are your questions for me? Let's get that
Okay,
on.
well, yeah, basically, first of all, you were talking about women in positions of power. You mentioned it just now. And first of all, there really aren't that many women in positions of power, even in, Western developed countries like the US and like the UK. So, still, even now, I know you think it's progressed, but women really aren't having that much say in what's going on.
Well, that's not the case in America. In America, women are literally taking over. They have taken over their homes, and not all, of course. They have taken over the public school system, and in the universities around this country, they are mostly controlled by liberal women. It's not in the nature of women especially liberal women, to have power. They don't know how to handle power. It goes to their ego, and it causes them to become...
So you think that men don't let their ego inflate when they have power?
Well, let me finish the one about the women. That's a good question, and I'll respond to it. These women, it's not in their nature to handle power, and so when you give them earthly power, they go out of control. They hate men. and the policies that they are making are totally going against the family, against men. And in this country, a lot of people are afraid to talk about it because when you talk about women, tell the truth about them, you're called a woman hater and all kind of bad names. But we got to deal with it because we're losing this great country. It's quickly becoming a socialist society, and we can't let that happen. And to your question about men, yes, there are some weak liberal men as well. Real men are conservative, but because so many men have been raised by single mothers, they have the mindset, the identity, the nature of a woman inside of their bodies, so they're operating and thinking like women because they're afraid to stand up to mama. So, yeah, there are some weak men here as well.
Because, yeah, I mean, I think the other thing is if, like you just said, with single parent, single mother families, you're saying that the liberal mothers are then instilling the values on their kids. But the fact of the matter is they wouldn't be single mothers if it wasn't for the fact that a man had left them in the first place.
Well, no, they wouldn't be single mothers had they waited until they got married before having sex. But
okay, but what about divorcees?
That's happening now because these liberal women have been brainwashed and dumbed down, and inside the homes, they think they should be the head of the man instead of the man being head of them, and most men are not going to put up with that.
I think you'd be surprised how many men are happy to live an equal existence with women. How many strong conservative men are happy to live an equal life with a woman.
I don't know what you mean by equal.
As in, it's not that the man is in charge. Decisions are made jointly. So both the man and the woman have input on a decision. I've been in a relationship for 4 years now, and, I'm still quite young, and we make every decision that we make jointly. We both have input. It's compromise.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
And are you living with your boyfriend?
No, I don't live with him.
Oh, good for you. And you're not having sex out of wedlock, right?
I think that's a pretty private question, but it's certainly not something I disagree with as long as it's under the right circumstances.
The right circumstances
my
marriage.
Reckless.
Hold on for me. Let me take a break. Hold on. Let me take a quick break. 888-775-3773. 888-77-JESSE. Back in a moment.
Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. It's even in your mind at all. Could be me at this moment in time. Is it in your mind at all? It should be me.
In America, we have, in comparison to men, women, 157 million is the number of females in the United States. And this is according to the 2010 census. The number of males is 151.8 million. We're going to have to start making some more boy babies here. Women voters were a significant factor in Senator Barack Hussein Obama's victory with a sizable gender gap. Evidence in the election result. Women strongly preferred Obama to Senator John McCain, 56% for Obama and 43% for John McCain, unlike men. Men tend to make decisions, not weak liberal men, I'm talking about real men. Liberal men and women tend to make decisions based on what they think and feel, and then they are incapable of realizing the outcome of their decision. And that's a problem in America. Now, there are a whole truckload of conservative women who agrees with me on this because they don't hate their fathers, they don't hate men, they don't hate God. And they have shown their support. Thank you for that, ladies. I appreciate it. All right, Francis, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Do you agree with me that women make decisions based on how they think and feel, and that they're incapable of, whereas men make decisions based on logic? They can see the decision is the right thing to make, and they can perceive the outcome of their decision, where liberal women are not able to perceive the outcome of the decision because it's based on how they feel.
I think that you don't define something like that by men or women. I think there are men that will make decisions based off their feelings. There are women that will make decisions based off their feelings, but just the same, there are men and women that will do things logically. I mean, personally, I'm a very logical person. I've been academic all my life. Most of my friends are men. I'm not a big girl's girl at all, but I don't see why I should be lumped in with these women that you're talking about. Do you genuinely believe that all women out there are like this?
No, just liberal women.
But I'm a liberal woman,
all
you see, so
liberal
that means
women.
you're saying it about me.
Let me ask this. Do you support same-sex marriage?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So what's logical about that?
Well, it's logical in that it is a logical solution to a problem. The problem is the problem of equal rights for everyone, and that is a way of providing a logical solution. You see, we have different types of logic, you and me. Your logic is they cannot procreate to create a child, therefore why is that relationship given any credence? But unfortunately, we live in a free society and people can choose to do what they want, and you've got to deal with those problems if this is the society, that you live in.
But my logic is not just that they can't create a family. It's just that common sense dictates that two men together, two women together is an abnormal situation. There's something that happened along the way that caused them to get on the wrong path. Common sense dictates that had the Creator wanted two men together as husband and wife, or two women together as husband and wife, He would have made it possible for them to have children without having to go out of their gayness in order to do it. If God had wanted homosexuality to be considered as normal, why did He make it that if they want children, if two men are together, they can't make a baby together? Two women together, why didn't God make it possible so that those two men who are living together as husband and wife would be able to make a baby without having to go outside of their gayness?
Well, I mean, I think the thing you've got to think about there, you spoke about logic. The logic in that is that there are a lot of children out there who need adopting. And the fact of the matter is, we already have it in England in quite a few cases where gay couples adopt children.
No, but you're not answering my question. God made it possible for man and woman to have a baby together without having to go outside of their heterosexuality.
Right, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Well, the thing
why
is,
did He make it possible for two men together or two women together?
Well, you see, this is a difficult one for me because I'm not religious. So in my opinion, God didn't do any of that.
Okay, even if the earth did it. Let's say that earth...
That's not something holding them back.
So you don't believe in God?
No.
You don't believe there is a God?
I would classify myself as agnostic, which is basically undecided. I believe in something, however, I don't believe in organised religion. I can see the benefits of it. I can see why other people are a part of it. It makes sense to me, but for me personally, it's not for me.
I want to go back to the question, why didn't whoever made man and woman and made it possible that they may create a family by having children, why didn't that source make it possible for two men or two women to do it, to have children, if it was meant for them to be together as husband and wife? Why didn't that happen?
I mean, I'm not really sure. I think that what you've got to look at is that, it is maybe unconventional, I guess, if that's the way you could put it. It's not the traditional route to go down, but that doesn't mean it's a wrong route either.
So that is food for thought for you. You've never thought of, why is it possible? Why is it that they have to go outside of their sexuality to have children? Had the earth meant for them to be together as one? You had never thought of that, right?
Well, I thought of in terms of adoption and those sorts of things, but in the sense of if you're saying, instead of a God, whatever force there is out there, why hasn't that force made it possible? No, I haven't quite looked at it that way before.
Okay. You also said before the break that you and your boyfriend make decisions together. What happens if he disagrees with your decision? Well,
it depends. I mean, the whole thing I was talking about was compromise. I think you've got to give a little to take a little, haven't you? So, I mean, it's not just a one-incident thing. We have a long relationship. There'll be times when I get my way a bit more. When we differ of opinion, and there'll be times when he gets his way a bit more.
888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. We're going to take some calls when I come back. Back in a moment. We have another hour coming up after this hour, 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. 64.4% of all abortions are performed on never married women. These numbers are from pro-abortion sources and Planned Parenthood family planning perspective. 93% of all abortion occur for social reasons. The child is unwanted, or inconvenient. Isn't that amazing? 1% of all abortion occur because of rape or incest. 6% of abortion occurs because of potential health problems regarding either the mother or the child. Francis, I want to squeeze in a few more calls here, but in case we run out of time, and we will, we have about 2 or 3 minutes left here. I want to say it's been good having you on, and I enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you. Could I ask you one last question?
Yes.
Okay, great. If the roles were reversed, and so say you were born as a woman, would you be happy living your life as a woman subservient to a man, always under the control of a man for the rest of your life?
Well, first I want to thank God that I wasn't born a woman. And
yeah, exactly. See, so it's a negative to you. Being a woman is a negative.
But that's not the reason. I mean, they have to have babies and all that kind of stuff. Now, if I was born a woman and my mother taught me to hate my father, then I would not want to be a woman. But if I was born a woman and my mother taught me to love my father so that I can have peace within myself, then I wouldn't have a problem with it.
So you'd really be happy just being subservient? I mean, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing now. You wouldn't have the same clout you do. But
that's not, you don't know that, though. I mean, women can work and they can do, there are conservative women who don't hate men, they don't hate their fathers, and they are happy being women. They're not in contest or they're not competing with the man. They are happy being who they are. And when they get married, they come together as one. And that's when heaven is being created on earth. But there are those women who hate men. Liberal women, all liberal women hate men.
But
and that's why they're fighting.
I love my father. I get on better with my father than my mother. All my closest friends are men. And I'm a liberal woman, so I think you need to revise your view about all liberal women.
Well, I would advise
you can get away with saying most, but not all.
I would advise you to forgive your mother for what she's done to you so that you could become a conservative.
My mother hasn't done anything to me. I love both my parents. I'm just saying I get on well with my father.
Let me go real fast to Guy. One last call here. Guy out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Francis. I'm glad you're on the show.
Real fast, Guy.
Some real fast questions. First of all, do you know the difference between a good man and a nice man? Where do you get your value system? And you don't have to be religious to read the Bible and to believe in a creator.
Yeah, I'm so sorry we can't get an answer, but good questions, man. I wish we had more time. Francis, again, thank you for coming on. And contact The View and ask them to have me on.
I will do that. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, now. Back in a moment, folks.
This has been the Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show, produced by Bond Action. To access the full version of this show, visit us on the web at bondaction.org.